Even makes me think that Venables was more the culprit in it because he can't even like admit to it, but yet they didn't say that he had anything wrong with him like post-traumatic, but the other kid did.
Right, exactly. And he probably had PTSD, Thompson, from his upbringing. I mean, he probably already had it, you know. He came from a huge family, and he was like the fifth of seven, and the seventh and sixth were already locked up, I'm pretty sure, when this happened. And their dad had abandoned them. He had a bunch of younger siblings, and his mom was a mess, you know, which is why he's out ditching school, throwing rocks at houses, you know, kidnapping children. You know, Thompson had that flat affect, which you always want to associate with like a psychopath.
Yep.
But I guess you could probably also associate it with PTSD, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't say that you couldn't, but...
Right.
I
can see it definitely being that way.
Definitely. I'm just glad that one of them has grown up not to reoffend, you know, and that brings us back. But you know what I didn't say was that when Venables was locked up in secure juvenile, the year before he got released, did you see that he had a sexual relationship with one of the people that worked there?
I did. I didn't get the details of it, but I saw that had happened.
And he still got released a couple of months later. I mean, they didn't think that was an offense worth any kind of rehabilitation or punishment. She was suspended, and she voluntarily just chose not to ever go back to work there. But nothing happened to him.
Oh, my God.
You know, nothing happened to him. It's just too crazy. So what do you think about nature versus nurture? I mean, we have so many...
I mean, definitely with Thompson, I feel like his has a lot to do with the nature. He obviously had a rough, well, I mean, I guess the nurture is what I would think. He definitely had a rough upbringing, but Venables, man, after hearing about him, he makes me think narcissism. For sure.
Narcissism? Yeah, well, narcissism or nature, because, you know, he came from on the outside, I guess I would say, his family seemed more normal.
Okay.
His parents were separated, but they had joint custody. So at least he had both of his parents in his life.
Yeah.
But the detective said about 20 years later that he was so sly and devious that he could never forgive him. No, this was his defense attorney, not the detective.
That's right. I read that.
Attorney. Yes.
Yes.
He said the moment he really realized that they had really done it, he just couldn't even... The way he went from utter denial to slipping into, okay, well, maybe we were on the canal. And it was just so effortless.
Yeah, that makes so much sense now, actually.
In November of 2017, 35-year-old John Venables reoffended for the third time since his release at 18, after a routine check by parole officials led to the discovery of a horrifying collection of child abuse and pornographic images. Murdered toddler James Bulger's mother, Denise Fergus, found out just a few hours before the news broke publicly, tweeting, "Here we go again." For this violation, it was determined in January 2018 that the man formerly known as John Venables would be tried in secret. Secret location, secret time, but sometime this year. Just a few weeks later, on February 6, 2018, that secret hearing was held, and John Venables was sentenced to 40 months behind bars for possessing 1,170 inappropriate images, along with a 20-page so-called pedophile handbook on his computer. The sinister collection included 392 Category A images, deemed the most vile and worst kind. He admitted in court that he had been accessing the fabled dark web for quite a while. This admission is shocking mainly due to the fact that he is not allowed to access the internet given his previous offenses, leaving the question of why it took so long to be noticed unanswered. He wasn't even permitted to have a computer, yet a laptop was found hidden behind the headboard of his bed. Venables was reported to be quite outspoken during his hearing, stating, "This is my own fault. I've let people down again. I've had stupid urges." Inquisitive. Denise Fergus said through a spokesperson that there should be no further collusion or attempts to cover up his offending behavior. He must be kept on a very tight leash. What she's referring to is the fact that during the hearing a few days ago, it was revealed that in 2015, John Venables violated the terms of his parole by using the internet. He was given a police caution, and none of this information was revealed to the media or public, causing Denise Fergus to accuse officials of a cover-up. That was the extent of his punishment, leaving him free to continue to amass the repulsive collection he would be caught with 2 years later. James Bulger's father, Ralph, has been vocal in his feeling that Venables' anonymity should be revoked. It's been reported that even this, his third identity, has been breached and that fellow inmates are well aware of his true identity. A constant three-guard team goes with him everywhere at increasing cost to British taxpayers. Ralph Bulger contends that if he cannot keep his identity secret, he should stop being afforded new ones. Venables' original defense attorney, Lawrence Lee, agrees with him and made comments to media this week supporting such a lift on his former client's anonymity. Lawrence Lee can also be heard on the already controversial documentary program that just aired in the UK on Monday, February 5th, along with Thompson's original defense attorney and Detective Sergeant Phil Roberts, who led Thompson's interrogations. Extensive unaired clips of the killer's original interrogations were played for the first time to the public. Viewers were immediately outraged, accusing the experts of appearing sympathetic to the killers, who seemed to defend their actions and categorize them as awful mistakes. The outrage was quickly followed by the creation of a petition for public inquiry on the UK Government and Parliament website, which has already amassed the 100,000 signatures required by Parliament to consider the petition for debate. Channel 4, who aired the program, The Bulger Killers, Was Justice Done, removed the documentary from its on-demand service the next day, but said they do plan to put it back up soon. It is available to view elsewhere online with little effort. John Venables' 40-month sentence makes him eligible for parole next October 2019. Thanks for tuning in to Episode 8. I hope you enjoyed the break from our regular format. Head over to the Nature vs. Narcissism podcast page to catch our full episode together. Leave them a rate and review if you loved it. And thanks to our episode sponsor, the State of Logic podcast. Listen in for discussions on relevant topics and interviews with guests designed to inspire better understanding of the world we all share. Leave a rating and review if you dig it, and just know that the support that we podcasters receive from our listeners continually inspires us to keep providing great content. It's definitely not easy. Murderous Minors Killer Kids is mixed, edited, and produced by Resonate Recordings. Get started with your free episode today at resonaterecordings.com. Find us on iTunes and Radio Public, on social media at Killer Kids Pod, and join us next week for another gut-wrenching story of the dirty deeds kids have done on Murderous Minors Killer Kids.